If you clicked on this video just to make a comment that I am wrong and I'm actually the racist one, hi, thank you for your engagement. The Sims 4 has been out, or The Sims has been out for 25 years. Yay, congratulations. However, within the 25 years of The Sims launching, there has been a consistent reality, even more consistent than their bugs and broken games. The marginalization and tokenization of BIPOC creators, that's Black, Indigenous people of color. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to specifically focus on Black Afro culture and representation. If you have to ask, why are you only focusing on Black and Afro culture? Thank you for your question. I'll get right to it. EA has made billions of dollars from the Sims franchise. Just a quick Google will show you that The Sims 4 made EA $1 billion in 2019. And there are 85 million people playing the game across the world. I mean, with the total price for a full game experience being around $2K, the $1 billion isn't that hard to believe. So, onto the racism. Let's start with the facts about EA as a company, because it is always good to start by looking at who really is behind the beast rather than the beast itself. Firstly, the percentage of employees that identify as Black at EA is right at 4%. Yep, that's it. This is compared to a whopping 53% of EA employees being white. Think the fly and milk analogy and you've got EA. And the women, it's not looking too good for us either, with only 26% of female. And we wonder why we need a mod in the game to have female Sims experience things like menstruation and holistic reproductive health. The baby doesn't just slide out in all happy smiles. I'll leave the rest to you. Really investigate what you are spending your time and money on. Let's get into the game itself. Now, I'll preface this by saying that if you have to say, well, it's better than it used to be, this comment, okay, is a comment that sure you can make, but let me put it into perspective for you. In the 1960s, many white onlookers were confused why Black people were pushing for civil rights. And they said, well, at least you're not slaves anymore, and it's better than it was. Let's let that sink in. If we continue to accept mediocrity from a billion-dollar company, then we will continue to be served that. Okay, back to the game. Let's talk skin tones. One would look at the skin tones of Sims 4 and think, wow, there's so many options, but there is one key factor missing: undertones. Undertones are very vital to non-Eurocentric complexions, because without them, the vibrancy is gone. And it looks like you just threw a darker shade on top of a light base. This analogy is even true with cosmetics, which is the issue with the skin tones of the game. No matter how much you slide that slider, you won't get undertones. The game still has a long way to go. When discussing hairstyles, one would think that the base game might include hairstyles for everyone, but that simply isn't true. With The Sims 4, while the Afro texture hair representation has improved from previous Sim games, absolutely nothing to the bare minimum. I continued and went on a hunt for Black creators who have worked with EA and found that the only official collab that was done was with Ebonics, and it was a kit problematically named Urban Homage. There is so much discourse of this kit as a quote-unquote Black kit or not, and if it was named Urban has anything to do with its complex history. Urban is a term associated with ghetto and was often used as encoded racism towards the Black community. Connotationally, this term would simply mean city, but that is why language is so important. Ebonics responded with her, or Ebonics, however you pronounce her name, responded with her intentions, which was to celebrate diversity of chic culture, city chic culture, and her intention to have such a divisive term. And basically saying it was her choice, but not the team's. But once again, I would push that this is why it's so important to have representation at the table of said team, because to put the responsibility of representation all on one person would be counterproductive, as no human is perfect, but collectively we can question, support, and uphold each other. Back to the hair. A quick count and you will see that the options for base game afro texture hair is only about 8 to 9 options. Now before you scream at me, let me explain. The Sims team decided to work with a famous black hairstylist on incorporating more textured hairstyles. And guess what they did with the result? They released it into a pack for you to buy. The issue is that they could have easily released that as a base game update, like they did the Romanian items we just got with the life and death, but they didn't. Being black shouldn't be a pack you have to buy. It should be base game. Being black is base game. If you ask more black creators, we would all agree that CCM mods make the game better for us, inclusive wise. However, every time EA updates their game, our CCM mods break, which in turn excludes even more and sets the tone that our representation is not important and is just an add-on. If I haven't convinced you yet, let's just think about the responses whenever a black simmer voices the need for more inclusive worlds and culture. Once again, my point here is not to just throw shade at EA, but to encourage us all to push for inclusivity in all aspects, cultural, racial, medically, etc. But this will not happen with complacency and toxic positivity culture. This is just a start. I'll be releasing more content like this all month. Be sure to subscribe for more info and leave a like or comment if you have any questions. I will talk to you all later. Bye.